Chibi. It can be a lot of fun to listen to Cyrax, Ralph, and of course, it's always a good time to sit down and browse the quickie. But sometimes you're looking for something a little bit less in your face and more subtle. We could easily transition this into a DSP video, but I've wanted to make a Chibi video for well over a year now, and I think that now would be the best time to do it. But I know what like 80% of you are asking right now, who's Chibi? Well, odds are if you're watching me, then you've actually already seen him before, most likely in an old 2014 or 2015 Cringe comp, specifically this clip.
So confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet. But yes, you are correct.
Now, for those of you whose number sequence just went off, it's great to have you back. And for those who genuinely have never heard of this guy, well, you're in for a treat. And what better place to start than back in the old days of YouTube with this quick description from Daddy Jim himself.
Our little boy Chibinekodemyx. I can't even say the fucking name. I'm sure it's based off some weird conglomeration of anime. Little Chinese girl cartoons, and he merged them all together to come out with that clusterfuck of a fucking name. But you can just call him Chibi. He's the guy that cheated in a speedrun by using tool assisting, or he did some fucked up thing, and people nailed his ass on it. Gave a heartfelt apology and was driven out of the fucking community. But I met him way back in the day. He was friends with Big Al 2K6. And he was a weird little... Yeah, wore dog collars, was a heavy emo goth kid, eyeliner and dark makeup, and, you know, I liked just the whole emo scene was very into that. Very into that. Okay, I've got this queued up. Let's take a look at some Chibi.
Yes, that's the same Big Al 2K6 from the Sandra Lee cooking commentary video that many of you may be familiar with.
Wonderful chicken breast.
She got thrown out of the studio, apparently.
I'm going to put an entire bottle of
vinaigrette. Drinking problems, what can you say?
Dressing bottles are
And we're just going to dump all the ingredients in this plastic bag and repeatedly hit it against the table until I'm satisfied. This is how I work out my aggression against my ex-husband. I beat chicken up outside the park. This is why the neighbors won't let their kids anywhere near me.
Into your chicken, and then I'm going to put some fresh raspberries.
I didn't think it was possible to...
a few raspberries.
Cooking any more than this, but apparently her secret topping to chicken is melted plastic, because she's throwing that fucker in the grill.
But where Jim and Big Al just knew each other through the internet, Big Al and Chibi knew each other in real life. They both went to the same college together, and here we can see Big Al and Chibi doing a video IRL. In this video, Big Al picked up Chibi as well as tackling him, and I want you to listen carefully because you can actually hear Chibi's dog collar's bell jingle as he gets tackled. And don't worry, Chibi doesn't just wear bells. Sometimes he actually wears a literal dog name tag.
Hello, my name is Chibinekodemyx, for those of you who don't already know me. If you don't know me, well, you must have been living under a rock. Yes, we are at, whatever this park...
Mayberry Park, Michigan.
Mayberry Park, Michigan. We are, it's a pirate party. We're all dressed like pirates. There's our captain over there. She's making food, because we are starving.
Say hi, Captain.
Arr! Captains don't say hi, they say R. You must know this.
Okay.
Both Big Al and Chibi would do a Super Smash Bros. Brawl review in 2008 for, no exaggeration, 10 parts. Yes, YouTube wouldn't let you upload videos longer than 10 minutes back then, but it was still over an hour of Chibi.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Big Al 2K6.
And I am Chibinekodemyx.
Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why we're doing this, since everybody and their mother has already reviewed Brawl. Why don't you tell them, buddy?
Well, it's really not the best game out there. And I know we're probably going to get a lot of flaming for this, so if you're watching, if you're fanboys, too bad.
But, like, I know what you're probably thinking. I did a 3-part video on Brawl saying, oh, it's a really great game, blah, blah, blah. That was really my first time playing the game when I started playing it.
Well, fast forward 15 years to April 28th this year, and now an older Big Al had some things to say about Chibi.
Pretty good day today. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Hey everybody, Big Al here. Truth be told, I've been bouncing back and forth as to whether I should make a video about this. And I decided, F it, let's go for broke. So, it's been a while since I've talked about Adam, Chibinekodemyx, or Shiny Aquana, whatever the f he decides to call himself. And, well, he's recently got himself into a bit of hot water.
But we just made one big time skip, didn't we? Well, that's because I wanted to give you a little taste about what we're going to see later. Back in 2009, Chibi would defend wearing dog collars in a video, claiming that it was because he liked them and that his grandfather gave him the dog name tag.
Alright. There's been an issue that's been brought to my attention recently, and a lot of people have asked me this, and I'm just getting really, really sick and tired of hearing it. Why do you wear a dog collar? Well, if you're thinking I belong to somebody, that I'm somebody's slave, no, I'm not. The reason why I wear it is because I like to wear it. That's it. I tell you the other reason, the real reason why I like to wear it, but seeing as though you guys are so misunderstanding, I don't know if I could tell you guys. Because the real reason why I wear it transcends all that you might understand. You know what, actually, I'm going to tell you guys, and if you guys don't believe me, or if you guys think I'm an idiot, you know what, just go ahead and push the unsubscribe button. But here's the real reason. Now, the story behind this pendant right here, my grandfather got it for me a few years ago when we were down in Florida. I've treasured it ever since. And I realized that whenever I took this off, I felt really faint, and I usually would lose consciousness. This happened every time I took this off. So, that is why I did this. That is why I made it to look like this. This right here is not an actual collar. It is something off of a trench coat. But that's the closest thing that I could find that I can wear. But the real reason why I always have this on and I never take it off is because of that. It's pretty much the source of my power. It's the source of my energy. I collect dark energy from the moon.
Since most ancient Chibinekodemyx videos are lost to time, especially a special cosplay video that we're going to hear about later but not get to see unfortunately, we're going to have to skip to the famous GDQ incident we all just saw. But what is GDQ? Well, GDQ is short for Games Done Quick. Starting on New Year's 2010, GDQ has been an event for speedrunners to show off their skills to a live audience, as well as a live stream where the main goal is to raise money for charity. The speedrunner I would say that's second most important to this video is named DJ Caveman. He was supposed to do a Tumba 2 speedrun, and Chibi got invited to join him on the couch because it was his birthday. There are plenty of duos out there that seem to just work off each other for whatever reason. I mean, there's Jim and 2018 Ralph, David Stay and John McAfee, Cyrax and Marty, but Chibi and DJ Caveman would not go down as a good combo that work off each other in the slightest. If you don't believe me, let's see a bit of the stream that made Chibi famous.
You'll notice that I'm wearing pajama pants for this comfy game.
It's weird, I usually wear pajama pants, but I would say I wear jeans today.
Yeah, you're not dressed for the occasion.
I'm not.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither.
I recommend all viewers to go get a nice cup of joe, perhaps a bagel.
Dude, I love bagels.
Just sit back and enjoy some breakfast tomba.
Asiago cheese bagel? Yummy.
I believe you. Alright, we're about to get the best item in video games.
Yes! Fast pants.
They make you go fast. Very ideal item for the speedrun.
I want one now.
My name is Tomba the Mighty.
He doesn't actually talk, though, so he would never say that in any
He
situation.
makes grunts. That's kind of like talking.
He could pretend he does.
I have fast pants.
We get turbo pants later.
Now you're just making me excited.
Yeah, I don't think you're ready for that.
I don't think I am. It's kind of coincidental how, like, in most games, pigs are evil.
Such as?
Well, Diddy Kong Racing, Zelda, Mother.
Thank you for the list of evil pigs in video games.
You're welcome. So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet. But yes, you are correct.
Now, of course, that could have been it for Chibi. Chibi was memed into the please be quiet guy, and like I said, that could have been it, but I want you to ask yourself, why was Chibi at GDQ in the first place? If you guessed because Chibi was a speedrunner himself, then you would be right. In May 2015, Chibi's mom would let him know just what she thought about him staying up at all hours of the night to play Super Paper Mario on GameCube.
Why are you swearing down here? What the F? This is gonna go off. It is, 1 o'clock. I want it off very soon.
Well, it won't be off until about another 2 hours from now, because I'm in the middle of a speed run.
You're starting to talk about this crap. You'll be on it all night long.
It's only 1 o'clock. And this is the weekend.
I don't care.
Of course you don't. You don't care about anything.
No, I don't care. Okay? We talked about this shit, about you being on it all night long.
I'm not being on it
I
all
don't
night
care if it's a
long.
weekend or not. It doesn't matter. Every day runs together for you.
No, actually it doesn't.
Adam? It's not happening. Why do you keep insisting on it? I'm so sick of going over and over this with you.
So am I.
Then why aren't you listening to me?
Because I have a life to live, and I'm living it.
No, I'm gonna unplug it if you get a smart mouth on you. Don't give me that crap.
I'm not giving you any crap at all.
Yeah, you are. I told you, this isn't happening all night long.
It's not all night long.
What?
It's not all night long. It's not even close.
3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I don't see
Dad made me promise, told me to make sure this wasn't happening all hours of the night.
It is.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. 3 o'clock in the morning is all hours of the night.
Okay.
Adam. Why do you have to put me in these situations and these predicaments?
You're the one putting me in the
No.
predicament.
Yeah, I am. And I'm gonna unplug this in about 2 seconds.
And of course, don't forget, at the same time that happened, the Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, Yooka-Laylee, put out a Kickstarter that was fully funded in 1 day, but if you were to pay 5,300 USD, then you would be given a credited role in the game as a side character. That's a pretty cool thing to put someone in the game that believes in your project that much. Personally, I never even spent that much money on my PC, and I would never put down that much cash for a game, unless it was like Zero Escape 4, or definitely if it was Hotel Dusk 3, but that's besides the point. In Chibi's tweets, he started off saying, I want to voice act in Yooka-Laylee so bad, I need some money, man. Guys, fundraise stream for me to voice act in Yooka-Laylee? We can raise $5,300, right? Ha 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 ha. That's gonna be one hell of a stretch goal, ha ha ha. That's a lot of money to raise, but I don't see an issue with raising money from your Twitch stream to try and be in a game you're excited for, and I doubt that anyone else here would either. But what I do see an issue with is that because Chibi thought that this would look good on a resume to be a voice in the game, he decided he would go out and take out an $8,000 loan. But just think, man, voice acting in a really awesome video game, that's gonna look really fucking good on a resume. Here's the thing, do I dare tell my mom of this idea? Either way, I'm not letting this dream pass me by. Well, I'm doing it. I'm taking out an $8,000 loan just to reach that reward. This is my future, and I'm not sparing any expense. Even if I don't get to be in the game, I could use these guys as professional references. That alone would be beyond worth it. But Audenta might hear you saying, I thought it only cost $5,300 USD to be in the game. Why would he take out so much more money than that? Well, for nearly $2,500 more, he would get to have dinner with the team that made the game and see a live concert. Genius. Thankfully, for Chibi's credit history, he was able to see reason that this was not the good idea that he originally thought it was. Judging by what a lot of you have said, this probably isn't a good idea after all. Paying for a spot versus getting in by merit isn't good. It definitely is something I want to be a part of, but this is probably not the way to do it. Thank you for showing me that. Now, for the next part, I'm going to be talking about Chibi cheating in Super Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. That being said, I'm going to be going lightly here because I would highly suggest watching The Story of Chibi, the World's Saddest Speedrunner by Magic Mush, as he goes into detail that went on with Chibi in this situation, and anything that I say would sound like straight up plagiarism. But to make it quick, Chibi was doing bad in a run and decided to risk it by doing a glitch that would require 2 pinpoint button inputs that were only possible on 2 frames.
I like that jump! No way. No way.
Now, that looked like Chibi did it, but what actually happened was he used a cheat. And once Chibi got exposed for it, he became a pariah in the speedrunning community. Later that year, on July 15th, 2015, Satoru Iwata, the 4th president of Nintendo, died. Iwata at this point was very well known to Nintendo fans, playing a large role in the company's public relationship. These aren't fan-made videos that I'm about to show you. These are Nintendo official videos that he was a part of.
Oh, wow. Yes, we're ready to start filming the Nintendo digital event for E3 2015.
Okay, thank you. I will head directly to the stage.
Besides videos like that, Iwata was a big part of Nintendo Directs as well, aka the show where Nintendo would announce their upcoming games, like a mini E3 that happened a couple times a year, so his death was a surprise to say the least. And that puppet video that I just showed you, that only came out literally less than a month before he died. So with his loss, Chibi thought it would be a great idea to hold an online funeral stream.
Hello everyone.
After talking about Iwata, Chibi decided that he would start singing on stream.
I believe the morning sun always gonna shine again.
Just because I had to listen to that whole thing doesn't mean that you do too, so we're gonna skip it. But not after getting any callers, Chibi would talk about Iwata again and gave us a personal story, then went on to talk about the Nintendo Wii.
We'll now take this time to allow other fans to talk about how Iwata and his influences changed their lives. I have a few people with me today that are wanting to share a few things.
The person whom you're trying to reach is...
Okay then, I guess I'll start then. There can really be nothing more said about Iwata. He was a humongous part of Nintendo's history. Without him, I wouldn't be playing the games I am today. Ever since I was a little kid, I found solace and comfort in video games. While many parents at the time found them to be addicting, and mine still do, that's not how I played video games, or the reason. I'll call you in a little bit, PK. Growing up, I was a social outcast at my grade school. I was the odd one out, last picked for teams, etc. As such, I never really had any friends. And every time I would try to make friends, they would eventually stop talking to me because they either thought I was weird or stupid. That's how things were. I was on autopilot. I'd wake up, go to class, come home, and it continued that way for a while. Until one day at Christmas time, when I was 7, I'd received a new toy. Something I'd never seen or heard of before. It was a Nintendo 64, and with it came Super Mario 64, my first game. I played every day when I came home from school. I loved it. The colors, the music, the levels, everything was just perfect. Except for the eel, that thing scared the crap out of me. As time went on, I acquired more and more games, and with each one, an entirely new experience. New worlds, new characters, new stories, and more. I could just get so lost in these vividly colorful worlds that I often imagined I was there in those worlds. And with that, a fascination began to spark. I had to know how they worked, what went into them, and everything in between. It wasn't until middle school when Iwata finally took his place in the president's chair. At the time, I had played games like Super Smash Bros. And Kirby 64. And I was playing games on the GameCube as well. I even had a Game Boy Advance SP, the last in the line of Game Boy Advance products. By then, I had developed a fondness for Nintendo like no other. I always held these universes and worlds close to me, never forgetting the games that I started out with. Fast forward to high school. Still pretty much a social outcast, shunned by pretty much every clique there ever was. Hell, even the emos thought I was weird. I let the day take me wherever, like a leaf in the breeze, and I'd always come home anxious to start the next big adventure. But in 2007, something incredible happened. Earlier the previous year, and the previous months as well, there was talk of a next-gen system for Nintendo that would be superior to the GameCube. Its codename was the Revolution, something a lot of people had high hopes for. But many of those hopes were dashed when the console's real name turned out to be the Wii.
Of course, people pointed out to Chibi on stream that he shouldn't be running ads during a funeral.
If there was a way... Bouncy, if there was a way I could completely turn ads off, I would have. Trust me, I would have. Like, I don't know what makes them play.
Unfortunately, you can turn off as much as you can turn off on your side, but unfortunately, there are still going to be ads that Twitch will force through to any channel no matter what. More so, obviously, to the partner channels because they're still business. They need that revenue. That's never going to totally be ad-free.
True.
I mean, unless, of course, you pay for it, like Turbo.
Chibi's online fame was pretty much tied to those events. Iwata's funeral stream, cheating in Paper Mario, and Please Be Quiet at GDQ. And even though we had a few screw-ups since the Iwata incident, like having people take over his stream and play adult content on them, he was pretty much forgotten. But then, on June 26, 2017, PewDiePie himself would join to show off the original GDQ video in a video that currently has millions of views.
This looks fun.
So we got Caveman, the guy with the mustache, and the guy next to him, Chibi, who invited himself on the couch for this speedrun. Now imagine playing the same game over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's your time. It's the only skill you have. It's the only talent you really acquire, which is one talent more than I will ever have. So don't get me wrong. But still, imagine doing all that It's your time to shine. It's your time to show it all off. And then this motherfucker, Chibi, invites himself to the couch next to you to steal your spotlight. Let's watch.
Hello, everyone. I'm Caveman DCJ, and this is Tomba 2. Oh, that's a good start.
Well, I mean, it's more a plot than Bubsy has.
So Chibi keeps trying to fill in the blanks, you know, which I can respect Chibi for doing. First of all, Chibi is the only guy... Oh, man. I love how Chibi is the only guy manspreading. He clearly went all alpha in on this couch. But Caveman, he's not having it.
Pipe?
God, Chibi, you're so awkward. And my man Chibi, he has some excellent stand-up comedy on-the-fly skills. Just look at this.
So this is the case where getting crabs is a good thing?
Yeah. That's hilarious. My man Chibi, yeah! Crabs is a good thing. Oh.
Did Chibi try to take advantage of being on a PewDiePie video? No, instead he lost it on Twitter. Let's read these out in order, shall we? Man, this is just too much. Happy birthday to me. This happened years ago and no one cares about it anymore? Then why bring it up, dumbass? I want to do something, but I'm helpless. He can do whatever he wants with no recourse. This honestly fucking sucks. I left a comment on the video. Yes, I'm fucking standing up for myself, and I don't fucking care who says otherwise. Bullies do not win. Chibi would then upload a video on the situation the next day with Jazz F-Zero music in the background. Chibi would actually offer up his side of the story on what happened.
Hey everybody, it's been a while. Wasn't really planning on making this video, but yeah, here I am. Back from the dead. So yeah, I guess if you guys have heard the news or been following me on any of my social media, the one and only PewDiePie, I'm not kidding here, the legend himself, he actually made a video regarding the incident from SGDQ 2014. Wow. I did not expect that. Like, I saw it on my Twitter one day. I said, hey, PewDiePie made a video about you. I'm like, this isn't real, right? This is a joke. And then I saw it, and like some other people were telling me about it, and I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. Hey, he's embracing the meme. It's all good. But I got a little bit upset later on after I watched it and kind of reacted in a negative way at first. I posted, you know, a comment saying, if you think I'm cringy, you should look in the mirror. Yeah,
Besides having his collar inside his shirt, Chibi seemed pretty well composed and not the same person that we were used to from before. But how bad was Chibi before? Well, on November 11th, 2017, a user on the forums called Logan Wyatt posted that she had known Chibi years ago and told her story. Logan Wyatt used to be in contact with Chibi back in 2011 and would show Chibi saying sketchy things like how he wanted her back even though they were never in a relationship together. But when she told Chibi that she wouldn't drive him 4 hours to see his girlfriend at the time, Chibi decided to threaten her. My boyfriend said Demyx gave him a bad feeling and wasn't keen on me being alone with him. So he said if he needed to drive almost 4 hours to see his girlfriend in Saginaw, he wouldn't let me go alone. When he didn't get his way, Demyx turned from who I thought was my friend to this shitty hostile man-child. He made a threat against me and has made my life with conventions hell since it's been 5 years and I still require an escort so he can't catch me alone. He might not recognize me anymore or even remember the stress he put me under after what he said, but after reading this thread and realizing what a joke he became, I'm not scared of his stupid ass anymore. Fuck that guy. Now, get this, Chibi told her once that he would go to the hotel lobby of a hotel she was staying at, get a key to her room, enter, and there was nothing she would be able to do about it because she wasn't talking to him as much as she used to. I'm trying to pull up the old Skype logs, but it's proving more difficult than I thought. However, there was a point where just before Youmacon 2011 or 2012, Demyx was mad that I was ignoring him. I used to use AIM and MSM more than Skype, but my computer would automatically log into all of it. He got mad that I was ignoring him, assuming it was because of my boyfriend. Never mind I was a new college student. He got angry and threatened me. He said he'd be able to just go to the front desk at the hotel and get a key to the room. That he'd just come up to my room and I couldn't really do anything. My friends put me on the buddy system, requiring me to have constant supervision. Demyx is not some aspie that doesn't understand social cues. He is a man-child that plays the victim when he's really the bad guy. He thinks it's okay to threaten a girl half his size just because she has more important things to do than entertain him and his delusions. Just seeing his stupid name gets me so heated. If anyone meets him in person, just punch him in the dick. Fast forward to May 17th, 2018, Chibi announced that his stepdad told him he was either going to stop streaming or was getting kicked out of the house. At everyone, have some bad news. Since I lost my job, I'm officially no longer allowed to stream. The only way I can stream now is if I move out. I'm sorry about having to do this, but at this point I legitimately don't have a choice. Apparently, I'm also driving my parents' marriage apart by doing this. No, Marty specially said, this streaming shit is done. His words were either you pack up and get out or cut this streaming shit out and get a real job. To be honest, that's one of the things he's sick of, even though he didn't say anything about it. He said, these fucking games and shit are the reason you don't do anything productive and you spend all your money on that shit. Apparently now he is going away for a few weeks because things are the way they are here. And my mom is upset about it. My mom tried to fight for me to be able to stream tonight, but Marty is flat out saying no. Once he has a full-time job, he's not going to need his so-called community. At everyone, I'm able to stream tonight. Chibi would actually later confirm that he was cited in the divorce as the reason for it. Fast forwarding a bit again, on January 29th, 2019, Metakurist Murdochian Archiver posted the stream where Daddy Jim from earlier talked about him dealing with both Chibi and Big Al. Big Al saw this and posted in the comments, I've known Adam for years. In fact, out of everyone he knows, I'm probably the only one that he was even remotely close to. So if Jim wants to do a follow-up and invite me on stream, both for old time's sake and to elaborate on some things related to Chibi, I'd be more than happy to. But what caused this comment from Big Al though? Well, it was this clip I'm about to show you from that video where Jim talked about how Chibi was caught sending his PP pics to minors.
This is some guy calls Chibi's mom. Let's find it. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, hi. Are you Adam's mom?
Yes, I am.
Yes, ma'am. I had some information I wanted to share you that your son has posted pictures of his penis online, and he admitted to sending them to a 17-year-old girl.
What?
Yeah.
What? My baby did what? She's gonna go Kyle's mom on his ass. I just wanted to inform you that your 26-year-old son is sending his to children on the internet. Jimmy.
Yes, your son Adam sent pictures of his to an underage girl, and he posted the pictures of his online.
Who am I talking to?
This is Jonathan.
Hold on a minute. Adam?
She goes to get him. Oh, Adam, you get up here right now. Are you sending pictures of your little willy whacker to girls on the internet? I hope he asks for the mother's email so he can send her a picture of the dick and then she asks to compare it. Now, Adam, you listen here. I need to make sure. Are you really sending your tallywhacker to those kids? I need you to take your pants off, mister, and get a hold on for mommy, because she needs to compare it forensically to these photos that Jonathan sent me. We need to get to the bottom of this. Show mommy your willy, Adam.
No, I did not. Well, somebody's saying you did. What's going on here? I don't know, Mother.
I don't know, Mother. I don't remember sending my to children on the internet, Mom. Speedrunning Paper Mario, come on.
You didn't do it? No, I did not. Well, this person's saying that you did.
Hello? Don't talk. I gotta talk to Did you hear him? Oh. Yeah, hey, ma'am. It sounded like we got disconnected.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. I'm really upset about what's happening here.
Ma'am, if you provide me with your email address, I'll be happy to send it.
Oh, he did! I don't. He did! The dude emailed pictures of to his own mother. Oh, that is savage as f***. Adam, how are you going to deny this when she looks at the dingleberries and know that she knows they're yours? Those are my baby's twigs and berries. Mama knows. Give me your email. I want to send you pics of your kids.
Pictures to you, if you
Who
want.
am I talking to, though?
This is Jonathan.
Okay, and how did you, how are you affiliated? I'm just trying to figure this out.
Well, the 17, the girl sent the pictures to me, and she said that Adam sent them to her.
Adam, some girl that's 17 years old, did you know that? There's not a 17-year-old girl. What 17-year-old girl? Do you know what this girl's name is?
Her name is Amy, but I don't know if he knew her by that name. He probably knew her by her online name, and I'm not really sure what that is. But if you have an email address, I could send some stuff to you if you'd like.
Yeah, do that, please.
Okay.
I can't believe we're actually listening to this happen. Think about this for a moment. This dude sending his pics to chicks on the internet, and this guy calls his mother up, gets her email address, and then forwards those pictures to mommy. Adam's going to be going through his own version of Inspection Day instead of live streaming for his audience on Twitch.
Al would end up leaving another really big comment, so I'll read it out. Gonna be honest with you, man, I haven't talked to Adam in a few years, so I couldn't be able to tell you his exact reaction to being immortalized as a meme. Not that we had a falling out or anything, but we did have a falling out before any of this. But I can tell you this. If and when I get a hold of Jim, and by some miracle we put together a stream, I have a bunch of shit to talk about regarding Adam. Hearing that he was sending pics to minors and being stupid enough to admit to it means that it will be a cold day in hell before I ever bother talking to him again, so I have absolutely no issue talking about some of the stuff he did. I'll just tell you one of his most infamous moments for now. He has single-handedly managed to make the college I went to into a complete laughingstock and ruined another friend's chances of a career at the same time. Basically, we had an anime club, and we wanted to turn the college into a small convention, and believe it or not only were we able to secure the college's permission to do so, but we were also able to secure industry guests and streaming rights to showcase various films from Harmony Gold and Sunrise. I was also scheduled to be a local guest due to having a small following and sizable YouTube base at the time. We got a site up and running, but it was incomplete and plans weren't 100% concrete yet. We explicitly told Adam to keep his fucking mouth shut and not utter a single word until everything was set in stone. As you can imagine, he did the complete opposite of that. He made a promotional video dressed in the worst L Death Note cosplay of all time and proceeded to post all of our unlisted site info and emails while telling people, as L, come to OsakaCon. It will be truly great. Several of the club members got hundreds of death threats and troll emails to both him and his family. One of them got doxxed and I believe pizza bombed. One of them had their site picture used in a YouTube poop where he shouted, "I'm going to rape you." This resulted in my friend being contacted by the company he was scheduled to begin work for and being told, "I'm sorry, but we cannot hire you knowing you are an associate of a rapist." All of our sponsors pulled out and the college banned us from ever trying to make the college into a con. As for Adam, it's a miracle he didn't get his ass kicked. And that was about a decade ago and only the tip of the iceberg. After finding out that Al posted this, Chibi tweeted out to Al saying they needed to talk, where Big Al would allegedly respond to Chibi saying, "No, we're done." Then, on February 4th, 2020, tragedy struck. At least, it did if you were Chibi. A leaked naked video of Chibi went up online that is heavily suspected to have been planned by Chibi all along as a way to get more views on his Twitter account and Twitch. For obvious reasons, I can't show this, but Chibi straight up says, "I hope this doesn't end up online," in it. Then on February 7th, Chibi decided that he would get ahead of any trolls and leaked out the rest of his nudes online, something that almost got his mother to kick him out of the house over. On June 20th, Chibi tried to hop onto the Me Too bandwagon and uploaded a document called My Personal Hell. Chibi started off saying that it's 2 in the morning and he's shaking. Chibi makes a claim that after a truth or dare gone wrong when he was younger, he got blind billied. Sorry, I've been watching too much Cyrax. Let me read what Chibi wrote. My story begins when I was 12 and in middle school. I wasn't making friends that easily, and I was often seen alone, and avoided by others. I was on ADHD medication at the time as well. I met this guy Matthew. He was a singer and also kinda was a bit awkward too. We talked a little bit, and we became friends eventually. Fast forward to a month or so later, during mid-winter break, he invited me to stay the night at his house. To me, I was like 12, so I was like, yeah, sure, cool. And we ended up playing video games and other things. It was such a long time ago, and I don't remember the details, but one thing sticks out in my mind, truth or dare. We were younger and stupid, so obviously we were very naive about things. But that's when he asked me, truth or dare? I said dare. He dared me to take off his Chibi would then claim, while sleeping, his friend tried to do something that you can probably put the pieces together, and then he told his what I would now assume to be ex-friend that he was going home. If that story's true, then that's absolutely terrible, but what's also terrible is right underneath this, Chibi put Al as the next big story. Now, we're going to hear soon just how Chibi saw his friendship with Big Al, but before we do that, I want to tell you some of the things that Big Al had done for Chibi over the years. Big Al once drove Chibi over an hour out of his way for a job interview, possibly risked his position at his job offering to try and get Chibi a position at the kitchen he worked in, bought Chibi food when he had no money left, let Chibi sleep at his place when Chibi had nowhere else to go, and went to Chibi's father's funeral with him, and didn't tell a soul for years that Chibi hooked up a laptop and sang karaoke to a Bleach AMV at his dad's funeral. And no, that's not an exaggeration. That's not stretching the truth. That actually happened. So, how did Chibi repay Al's kindness and friendship? Well, in Chibi's own words, now we go into my college years. I'm at community college one day, and I meet this guy. His name was Al. We bonded over the fact we both liked YouTube poops, which were popular at the time. Eventually, we also became friends and hung out a lot. His parents were nice, especially his grandma, and Alan had his own YouTube channel called Big Al 2K6 that he had a lot of subscribers to at the time, about 8K I believe. His videos were primarily focused on rants and things of that nature. With time, I got involved with his videos and often helped him with the videos in one way or another, but every time we hung out, whether it was at his house or somewhere else, he would talk about no one else but himself and his videos. Anytime I brought up my interests, they were swiftly brushed aside and replaced with whatever he wanted to talk about. The friendship was mostly like that the entire time, but I dared not speak up because he was my only real IRL friend at the time. This is about the same time I adopted the original YouTube name Chibinekodemyx, which would be my persona for a long time, and eventually I started making my own videos and tried to get his approval on them, to which his response was, yeah, whatever, so I went right on ahead, being his lapdog. Eventually, we came into a group of people through college who would later be our cosplay group, and we hung out with them. I don't remember when it was, but I remember having the idea to have a miniature convention at the college, and we were going to call it OsakaCon, or something of that nature. So, to, I guess, promote the con, I had the brilliant idea to make a video of myself dressed as L from Death Note with a shitty wig and plaid pajamas. Not long after that, the video went viral, but not for the right reasons. This was my first instance of cringe behavior I'm now so famous for, and Al ate that shit up. He'd dog and tease me about it every chance he got, belittled me for my shitty cosplay, and used words like f*** and to describe me. And despite all that, I still kept being his friend and hanging out with him. I had no idea I was being manipulated because all I saw was I had someone to hang out with. I'd just like to remind you that one of Al's friends got pizza bombed after Chibi's stunt and another lost his job, but because Chibi got called mean words that Chibi uses as well, he thought it'd be appropriate to throw Al under the bus right underneath the rapist in this post. But who could he possibly follow up Big Al with? Well, Pewdiepie, of course. Jump to 2017, it was June 27th, someone on Twitter tells me that the YouTuber Pewdiepie put me in a video. I raised a skeptical eyebrow. Pewdiepie, really? Sure enough, it was real, and it was every bit as horrifying as I'd feared. Every second of the video, he spent laughing and cackling about how beta I was, saying things like, "No one wants to be a chibi." The video he's reacting to is, of course, the SGDQ 2014 video, and the more I watched it, the more my heart sank. The most popular YouTuber on the platform was literally witch hunting me for no other reason but lols. And it didn't stop there. Oh no, he went a step further and made sure to include a clip from my stream where I was yelled at by my mom for staying up so late. He was going out of his way to ruin my life because he could. After this, Chibi started self-sunset baiting and revealed that after that, he went to a mental hospital and was the cause of his mother and stepfather's divorce. I had to be put in a mental hospital after that. What followed was the eventual divorce of my mom and stepdad after 23 years, and I was the one to blame. This, whatever you call it, ended with, "I know this was long-winded, but thanks for reading. And PewDiePie, f*** you." Not long later, on June 23rd, Chibi addressed the Logan White post from earlier, claiming that his memories on them were hazy. "I don't remember if this happened or not, but my memory of the time is hazy. If that happened, I have zero memory of it, but this couldn't have been in recent years, so I don't know. If it happened, I apologize. I don't want to hide anything, even if I don't remember it." Big Al would later say in a DM with another user that the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to him and Chibi being friends was Chibi sending those pictures. "The straw that broke the camel's back for me was the dick pic thing. That was only a few years ago and not from his sexually awkward college years. He hasn't changed much, if at all, if that's any indication." Big Al talked about everything that he's done for Chibi over the years and how doing so made him look bad in front of everyone else. Especially when Al would defend Chibi's actions, and then Chibi would go on to do something worse than he just got defended for. But what his sycophants don't realize is that without me, he wouldn't have food, a ride, or even a friend. I drove his dumbass to job interviews and fed him food with my own money. Ribbing aside, I treated that little useless f*** like a brother. Whether he realizes it or not, I was the best friend that he could ever have. At times, the only friend. I was the only one who stood by his side at times because his constant f***ups drove everyone else away. And I'll be honest, I kind of expected him to take this road at some point after I cut ties off permanently, but I still can't help but feel salty about it. Like in a, "and after all I've done for you, you do this to me" way. Every time I stood up for him whenever he did anything stupid, he would almost immediately follow up with something worse. Simply being around him made people look at me like I was an idiot. So that's the long and short of it. If he wants to continue this, he's more than welcome to. Just figured he wanted my take since I'm not able to do so on his page. On October 5th, Chibi would get himself into more trouble by calling someone a f***. I don't care that he called someone that, but I do care that Chibi's a hypocrite that will cry in a twit longer about being called one, and then go ahead and use the word himself.
Yeah, I probably have more hair than you do.
Ooh. This incident caused Chibi to upload a copy-paste apology and then take a break from streaming. Of course, it's not a good and proper Chibi day unless he tries to ruin his mother's chances of being in a relationship. This time, on Halloween 2020, Chibi crashed his mother's date dressed like Joker from Persona 5. On November 16th, 2020, Big Al would talk about his experiences with Chibi on a podcast. This was a ton of information, so I actually have to do highlights for it.
Proudly displayed. Hell yes! The fucking marker under his eye.
Yeah.
We are mature.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Oh God, I love it. Oh, you want to get right into it then, since we're already recording?
Can I just explain a little about this image first?
Okay.
So I actually completely don't know what Demyx looks like outside of his L costume.
He's got blue hair. He's got like blue hair now, and a fucking shaven baby face, I guess.
Yeah, and I also haven't seen that L video in like 11 fucking years. Yeah. So I just drew that from memory. Like, I remember he had like hair like this and like dark marker under his eyes.
Yeah, permanent
and
marker.
those pajamas.
Permanent marker.
So that's and so that's just how I picture him forever, I guess.
He never changed.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, he never did. But yeah.
Right.
A little bit of backstory.
Tell us like the whole Chibinekodemyx saga, like from beginning to end.
All right. Well, can
we do it?
I'm gonna try to because, as I said, I was talking to another friend about this. It is impossible to do a TLDR on Chibinekodemyx because his legacy spans over a decade. Like it's and the thing of it is, I've known this guy for so long that I can only remember like very specific points of his life that he was with me. Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I will tell you how I met him. I met him when I was in community college. I was at Macomb Community College, and this was. And keep in mind, I didn't really have any friends, you know, from high school. You know, when I went into college and got out of high school, like everybody that I knew in high school, like went on and did their own thing, and I didn't keep in contact with any of them except for like maybe one or two people, right? So I didn't have any friends in college starting. You know, I'm in the game room and I see this dude, you know, looking like fucking Hot Topic incarnate. And, you know, he's got fucking chain. He's got a dog collar on, chains, belts, looking like someone from fucking Kingdom Hearts.
So Prince of Moose.
Yeah. And I see him drawing. And Adam does do good art. I will say that. You know, I see him drawing. But he's drawing fucking YouTube poops. Like, he's drawing, like, internet memes from, like, 2006. And I look at that and I go, holy shit, you CDI Zelda? He's like, how did you know? And I'm like, I watch YouTube poops all the time. He's like, holy shit, me too. And that's literally how we became friends. We got the idea of, and by we, I mean everyone except Adam. We got the idea of coming up with OsakaCon, turning the college campus grounds into a convention, and believe it or not, this was well before other universities started doing that, like you know, renting out space for conventions. So if this was successful, we probably would have been like a trailblazer in it. So we get the paperwork, you know, we're getting all the paperwork ready, and believe it or not, we were able to pull some strings, like licensing. We can, you know, John was huge into like Mecha and Gundam, so we got like licensing from Harmony Gold and the other companies that dubbed those types of shows to stream it, you know, to show it on a giant projector. We were gonna get local like comic book and industry people. Fucking, I was going to be a guest.
Yeah.
You know, because I had a YouTube presence at the time, and I was a bit of a local celebrity because of that.
Yeah.
Like, people still see me at conventions and ask me to sign shit. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Like, it's a humbling experience, let me tell you. I'm like, wow, you give a shit about my crappy videos? Wow. But, and like, we were pulling all these strings, and it was going great, and we got, like a concept of a website that we were going to have, right? And it had, like, all of us on the page, had details. Our friend Jared was going to be security because he was like a big beefy dude, and it had everybody on there. And then like we were finalizing everything, right? And the
the campus, the people people who ran the campus were like, yeah, we're all for this, you know, as long as you can get everything legally set up and whatever, right? So Adam, of course, you know, he's excited about this, and we have to tell him, Adam, now listen.
Like that we needed to focus on this guy in particular.
Yeah. We told him, do not talk about this. Do not share this. Do not spread this around. Don't make a video. Nothing. Nothing is set, because nothing is set in stone.
Yeah.
You know, and this website is unlisted. Only people who have the link to the website can go on this website. Until we have everything finalized and brought it live.
Yeah.
So of course he does the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And it's a now legendary YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's well, you're looking at the image of it. He dresses up in a shitty L costume, with fucking permanent marker underneath his eyes. He's wearing flannel pajama bottoms. In fact, I'm wearing almost the exact same kind right now.
Yeah.
Blue flannel pajama bottoms, and he makes a video to advertise this vapor convention. You know, it's vaporware. It doesn't exist. Come to OsakaCon. It will truly be great.
It'll be truly great, yes.
Hold on a second. I have a phone call. Oh, that was my buddy Light. And you hear his mom screaming from upstairs. You know, the dinner's ready or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just the cringe to end all cringe. And he uploaded that, and
it's an L cosplay, right?
Yes. In fact, it's a wonder he didn't die from like poisoning from like the fucking permanent marker he drew under his eyes.
All over his eyes, yeah. Oh my lord.
And that was essentially the OsakaCon story. You know, we actually had a good thing going, and then shithead decided to fuck it all up for us. But longtime viewers who didn't see the live stream that I made are probably wondering, Al, why the fuck are you shitting on Chibinekodemyx? Wasn't he like your best friend? Oh boy. Well, you're in for a shock, because what happened was a couple months ago, right? A couple months ago, Adam decided to drop a bombshell on his Twitter, and it was essentially a Me Too story, right? And it was actually a collection of several stories. In fact, I have the link here. Let me just God, where the hell is it? Okay, I got it. Let me just copy and paste, because I'm an old man. Okay, so. Oh, wrong one. What the hell? I have all these links. I have no idea which one to pick. I'm sorry. I am a dumb fuck. Okay, here it is. So he decided to drop this Twitlonger post. The 22nd of June, before my birthday, the day after his birthday, and it's a collection of Me Too stories. One was about him getting unsolicited. Another was dealing with PewDiePie, making a video about him. But one interesting story pops up about me. So yeah, after everything that I've done for this motherfucker, and people, and people who know me, people who hung out with me and even him, know that I babied this piece of shit. Like I fed him, I let him stay the night at my house, even when I got in trouble. I drove him places. I drove him to fucking job interviews.
Yeah.
I like. When he was truly alone, I was there for him. There were times where I was his only fucking friend. And then he does this. So I'm gonna try and paraphrase because I got the twit longer right in front of me. I don't care about his other ones. It's awful that, assuming it's true, it's awful that he went through that sexual experience, and I guess it's awful that PewDiePie sent his minions after him after making a video about him. But this is about me and him.
Yeah.
So now we go into, I'm quoting it, now we go into my college years. I'm at community college one day and I meet this guy. His name was Alan. We bonded over the fact that we both like YouTube poops. Eventually, we also became friends and hung out a lot. His parents were nice, especially his grandma. And Alan had his own YouTube channel called Big Out 2K6. He had a lot of subscribers at the time, about 8K, I believe. His videos were primarily focused on rants and things of the net. Now, keep in mind, it's only it's an entire page. It's like several pages worth of shit, and he only mentions me for like 2 paragraphs. So, let's see. Every time we hung out, whether it was at his house or someone else, he would talk about no one else but himself and his videos. And anytime I brought up my interest, they were swiftly brushed aside and replaced with whatever he wanted to talk about. Sounds like projection. The friendship was mostly like that the entire time, but I dared not speak up because he was my only real life friend. He was my only friend at the time. Well, at least he admits something. This is about the same time I adopted the YouTube name Chibinekodemyx. It would be my persona for a long time. And eventually I started making my videos and tried to get his approval on them. His response was, yeah, whatever. So I went along being his lapdog. Eventually, we came to a group of people through college who would later be our cosplay group, and we hung out with them. I don't remember when it was, but I remember having an idea to have a miniature convention. Yeah, he says it was all his idea. OsakaCon was his idea. And we call OsakaCon or something in it. So I guess to promote the con, I had the brilliant idea to make myself a video dressed as Elle from Death Note. We can play pajamas. Not long after the video went viral, but not for right. This was my first instance of cringe behavior, and now I'm famous for it. And Al ate that shit up. He dogged and teased me about it every chance he got, belittling me for my cosplay. Uses the word like it and keep in mind these words are censored because he's an ally. Despite all that, I still kept being his friend and hanging out with him. I had no idea I was being manipulated because all I saw was I had someone to hang out with. That's his Me Too story on me. So to sum up, all these traumatic events that he went through, and what's his Me Too story on me? I was kind of a dick to him in college.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm part of his fucking Me Too story for that.
Yeah, because you would defend him, all the time.
Listen, even people who I didn't know in person personally know about me and Adam.
Yeah.
Like, you were right along with that shit.
I was right there, yeah. I saw the whole fucking thing, and it was crazy, because it was like he would fuck up, and you would come to his defense.
Yeah.
And then he would fuck up again, and you would look like an ass.
Yeah.
And that was like a pattern over and over and over for like years. And I remember sometimes you would message me just being like, I'm done with Adam. I'm done with Adam. I'm completely done. And I'm like, are you really done with Adam? And you're like, yes, I'm done. I'm cutting him out of my life. Then it's like 3 months later, he's like back on your friends list being weird. It's like, and then like, another 3 months go by. I'm done with Adam. I'm done with Adam. I'm really serious. I'm done with Adam. Okay. It's just like wash, rinse, repeat over and over for freaking years too. Yeah, I remember it was insane.
So yeah, he has no right to say I was never there for him and I only used him.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about his dad's funeral.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Before the feed cuts out, like a jackass. Right. So this was the tale that the stream got left off on, right? Yes. This will probably be the cherry on top, So his dad dies, right? And his dad is like classic, blue collar guy, right? Hates anime, hates anything different, hates anything remotely gay, right? And wants his son to be manly. Like, you know what I mean? Like classic archetypal blue collar guy.
Yeah.
always tries to do right by his son, and he gets a brain aneurysm, right? And he dies.
Yeah.
So he never cared for me, but out of respect, I showed up to his funeral, right? So there's Adam. There's a couple of our closest friends, and his stepmom loved me, right? His stepmom adored me. So I hope she's doing well. I really do. She's an absolute sweetheart. So I'm in the viewing room, and I say, and I'm sorry, I'm tearing up again. God, I'm such a faggot. Anyway.
Okay.
So I kneeled down by his dad's casket, and I said, I know you never cared for me, but I just want to let you know that I always respected you. And I go into the hall, and there's this stepmom, she puts her hands on my shoulder, and she's basically telling me, you're the best friend he's got. In fact, you're probably the only real friend he's got. I want you to look after my boy, right? I want you to look after him. I trust you. You are part of this family just like he is. The whole spiel, right?
Yeah, Molly Weasley.
Yep, and I'm tearing up at this. Like I'm gonna do this kid right? I'm gonna do everything I can to look after this guy. And then I walk into the viewing room. And there Adam is. His laptop connected to the projector.
No way. I didn't know about this part. I didn't know that he connected his laptop to the projector.
Yep, he connected his laptop to the projector. And there it was, above his dad's corpse, in front of God and everybody, was a Bleach AMV. And there's Adam singing along to it in butchered Japanese above this man's poor corpse.
Oh my lord.
And I'm sitting there, and every single feeling I have, I'm just like, I have made a terrible mistake. Just imagine dying and then seeing that, like, from the afterlife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like as a ghost.
Yeah, as a ghost. Just imagine being like the most hardcore, like, I don't even know what his political leanings are. I'm gonna assume conservative or classical liberal, something like that. But like, imagine like Die Hard, pull yourself from your bootstraps, dude. Don't like anime, don't like new things, and then there's your son with a fucking, like, Windows Movie Maker anime music video playing above your corpse.
And it's fucking Bleach, which is an anime where you beat the shit out of ghosts. Like, what the fuck?
Like, that moment will forever stick in my mind.
Oh my lord.
And honestly, that's Adam in a nutshell, really. You got anything else to add?
Just, man, f these people who just want to take advantage of you. No. Just like, they take and take and take and take, and then they completely... It's like they want everything, Like, they want everything to just magically happen to them, just like in one of their fucking animes.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like always like a happy end, and then like I guess it's not always a happy end, but like basically the good guy wins in anime a lot, or in shonen anime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the guy thinks that he doesn't need to do any sort of work. Like, he doesn't need to like figure out how to get to job interviews by himself, or how to, how to put a career together, or how to get things done. Just just kind of leeches off of all the people around him constantly. It's like things will just work out in the end. It's like, no, you have to make them work. This isn't anime,
Mm-hmm.
all right? There's no screenwriter writing everything that's going to be like, oh, and by the way, Adam wins at the end. No, that's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's just so into his fucking cartoons, and thinks that like girls will just magically be into, because like to be in a hotel room like just in a towel or whatever, like hey baby, like to somebody that you don't even like fucking know, that just assumes that like basically you're the protagonist of an anime, and that people are just bound to just fall for you or whatever when you don't do anything. And yeah, and then like he cuts, or sorry, you cut him out, but he writes about you in this Me Too thing that's like long and involved, and woe is me almost. And like it's like he doesn't realize how good he had it with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like he doesn't realize that. I don't know, like
he doesn't he doesn't realize how good I was, how good
how good of a friend you were,
especially his sicko fans and whatever fans he has, who coddle him and baby him and say, "Oh baby, it's okay."
It's what he wants.
Yeah, it's what he wants. They don't understand. Like I'm the villain in his story,
of course,
and they accept that. But what they don't understand is what I've been saying all this time. He had it pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
With me and him.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, this has been Big Al. Thank you for listening to us rant and rave about this Benedict Arnold that I used to call my friend.
Yeah.
And with me is Rachel.
Hey, what's up?
And
see you later.
And take it
sorry.
easy, guys. And yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Adam, I hope you're watching. F you once again.
Yeah.
I hope you die alone and in the street somewhere. So this has been Big Al.
Over and out.
Over and out, baby.
That was a lot to cover, and Al wasn't the only one of Chibi's ex-friends to come out of the woodwork. On September 12th, 2021, a user on the forums again, this time called Fanatic Dreamer, would talk about his experiences with Chibi as his best friend from 2016 to 2019. He brought up how Chibi wanted to do a speedrunning marathon to get back into the speedrunning community after all his fiascos, and Fanatic Dreamer agreed, even emailing Easter Seals, the charity that they would be doing the speedrun for. Well, according to Fanatic Dreamer, to try and speed it up, Chibi was going to be the face of the marathon, and Fanatic Dreamer was going to be putting it all together in the back stages. Everything was going well until Chibi decided that he would add more staff than they needed. This led to hour-long Discord calls about anime instead of the event, and it became so chaotic that Fanatic Dreamer just left the group. After this event became a total disaster, Dreamer would post this in the Discord after getting mad people were telling Chibi that it wasn't his fault and that the event was a total trash fire. Here's the thing, I was part of the original staff. The first 4 staff members, I left due to creative differences, which is a polite way of saying I did not like the way things were being run and could not put up with it any longer. So many things could have been prevented in this marathon, with proper planning and diligence, which there appears to have been very little of that. Now, this isn't a shot at any of the new staff, but like, originally the original staff were not very helpful. There were maybe one of us doing anything, and that's why shit didn't get done. Poor staff picks and staff being added haphazardly without any thought/background check. I won't name names, but this is one of the things that caused a problem. 2. The marathon schedule should have been finalized way before a few days before the marathon. Proper planning and such, and there should have been very little stream problems. Did anyone even test stuff before the marathon went live? That's the question. It didn't seem like it. It should not have taken 30 to 45 minutes for staff to change runners. The marathon should not have been ahead by 7+ hours because of drop/disqualifications, only to end up being 3+ hours behind. How does that happen? On improper planning and lack of vision. That's another issue. This marathon had everything it needed to be successful originally. Amazing runs, good staff, and dedication, but most of which was stifled. Again, trying not to throw anyone under the bus specifically, but repeatedly bad choices caused staff and runners to drop, causing the final product to be half as good/polished as it should have been. The marathon, honestly, could have had more time/planning, which I informed a certain staff member, and he still decided to go on with it as usual. Dreamer said that he stopped all contact with Chibi after Chibi accused one of Dreamer's friends of sexually assaulting him for clout. Chibi even told Dreamer that it didn't happen in real life the way that Chibi wrote it down as. Dreamer shared a lot of information on Chibi that wouldn't be worth putting in this video, but on October 4th, he would post a conversation from when Jim talked about Chibi and how that costed him Al as a friend and that the Sweetie Squad was after Chibi. In April 2022, Chibi was kicked out of the group he was supposed to be going with to Colossicon because they found out just what kind of a person he was. Of course, our man, Big Al, got wind of this and posted his thoughts. LMAO, good. I've already made a podcast about you about a year ago, but I'll reiterate the point. From the bottom of my heart, fuck you, Demyx. Every time you are at your lowest point, it puts a big stupid smile on my face. I have nothing but contempt for you. I don't care how petty or cruel this comes off as. I hate you. I've been your friend and put aside all the stupid and appalling shit you've allegedly done to others for 10 years, and you have the fucking gall to stab me in the back and put me in the same category as a molester and suicidal ganstalking from trolls in your Me Too post on Twitlonger. Being your friend for 10 years was one of the biggest regrets I've ever had in my life. I'm glad I warned the Colossicon group about you before you stayed with them. I'm glad I destroyed your con experience before it even happened. Sorry for this out-of-character rant. I felt it was needed. Like, honestly, I don't know what to say about Chibi. Chibi's admitted to dating people 3 to 4 years younger than him when he was 18. Chibi said on April 18th, 2022 that he was a predator that stalks people, and honestly, I don't know what to say at this point, really. The Chibi cycle is real. Does cringy and receives negative attention, has public mental breakdown for asspats from the cord, goes on break to find self, has an epiphany about what cringy to do next, does cringy and receives negative attention. It's real. Chibi is unbearable. When people say that he's the weird kid you went to high school with that never grew up, they're right. In fact, in January this year, Chibi went to Japan. One of the first things he wanted to do was walk around in his Persona 5 cosplay while he was in Shibuya. Pro tip, if you're in Tokyo, Ueno Park in its zoo should be your first destination, but back to Chibi. He actually went out dressed like this. Chibi then decided it would be a good idea to stream in the same room as other people he was with while they were trying to sleep.
How come I'm in the dark? Because the people that I am staying with in this room have already gone to bed, and they have shut off the lights.
On April 16th, Chibi told all on Twitter that Al's story of him singing the AMV at his father's funeral was real. Then, on April 20th, 2023, 420 for all you people that can't hear that date without saying Weed Day, Chibi got banned from Colossicon. For what this time, you might be asking? Well, let me read out their post. Attention all members. We would like to remind you that sending unsolicited nude photos is not only inappropriate and disrespectful, but it also violates our community guidelines. We have a zero-tolerance policy on such behavior, and any user found to be engaging in it will immediately be banned from the platform. As an example, we recently had to ban the user Adam White for sending unsolicited nude photos. This behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. We take the safety and comfort of our users very seriously, and we encourage everyone to report any inappropriate behavior they encounter on the platform. Thank you for helping us maintain a safe and respectful community for all users. Well, Chibi would later try and talk about this incident on Facebook. No one is ever going to see my face on here again. This is goodbye. Are you okay? I've done something utterly unforgivable. I'm not going to show my face anywhere public anymore. I'm just going to stay alone and keep to myself. I'm a dangerous person. It's better that way. Chibi would try and explain himself in a post. Chibi claims that he posted on the Discord, if 10 people react to this, I'll send them a lewd. And to the 4 people that reacted to it, he sent them not just a PP pic we had assumed, but a full video of him fapping. Big Al would actually make a video on the subject on April 28th, starting with a little introduction.
Truth be told, I've been bouncing back and forth as to whether I should make a video about this. And I decided, fuck it. let's go for broke. So, it's been a while since I've talked about Adam. Chibinekodemyx, or Shiny Aquana, whatever the fuck he decides to call himself. And, well, he's recently got himself into a bit of hot water. But before I go into that, just a quick refresher. I don't want to bore you with the details. In fact, I don't want to make this a super long video. And there is a reason why I'm making this video. And I'll be upfront and honest. It's more personal than anything.
Not too long later, Al would talk about Chibi's oopsie at Colossicon.
But anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is because Adam did an oopsie. And how much of an oopsie? Well, it was enough to get him put on full fucking blast by one of the biggest convention fandoms in the country. In the Midwest, if not the entire country. You might have heard of it. It's called ColossalCon. They have a 21 and up Facebook page, and they recently, almost a week ago, posted this about him. Attention all members. We would like to remind you that sending unsolicited nude photos is not only inappropriate and disrespectful, but it also violates our community guidelines. We have a zero-tolerance policy for such behavior, and any user found to be engaging in it will be immediately banned from the platform. As an example, we've recently had to ban user Adam White for sending unsolicited nude photos. This behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. We take the safety and comfort of our users very seriously, and we encourage everyone to report any inappropriate behavior they encounter on the platform. Thank you for helping us maintain a safe and respectful community for all users. And as you can see, they put his name on there too, or put his face on there too. And yeah, this is a pretty fucking big deal. I'd say that's a pretty fucking big deal. And as a result of this, Adam went into full damage control mode on Discord, on the official Discord. He was banned from that too, saying, no, you don't understand. It was consensual. You know, they all agreed to it. Yada, 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 right? And then went into his usual Shadow the Hedgehog super edgy mode, where he started posting about how we'll never see him again. Is the last you'll ever heard from him. In fact, he also posted this paste bin, which he has since deleted it, and I'll let you know why in a minute. So this is his. I'll send obviously I'll post a link to the paste bin, but the gist of it is that he has an addiction to showing his dick to people. He claims that he started posting like cheeky photos of himself in the 21 and up Discord, and people were encouraging him. He claims to have body dysmorphia, and this really boosted his confidence, and as a result, he got a little bit too he got a little bit too ahead of himself and decided, hey, if these guys like these photos, then maybe they'll like a picture of my dick. And sent it to a bunch of people, including one photo where it was a POV from his point of view of his cat sitting on his dick. And at the end, he says, "That's all I have to say." It's pretty much a sorry, not sorry. But like I said, I'll post the picture. I'll post the link to the paste bin in the description.
After reading out Chibi's apology that we already went over briefly, Big Al said that it made him start seeing red, so he posted on the Colossicon Facebook page.
I saw this and immediately saw red. So I've decided to post in the ColossalCon Facebook group because, as I've said before and many times over, I'm probably the closest friend Adam has ever had. And as such, I know his patterns better than anyone else. And he is so predictable you can set your watch to him. So I decided to post on the Colossal Con Facebook page, and this is what I said. In response to him posting that, I posted his declaration of change onto that to accompany what I've said. So normally I don't like to contribute to drama on a con page, but I feel like this needs to be addressed. If this breaks any of the rules, feel free to delete. I know that Adam White was recently outed and banned as a sex pest on this page, and I appreciate the mods for your due diligence. Adam recently posted this on his Twitter, proclaiming he is a changed man, that the haters won't bring him down, while curiously omitting why he felt the need to post this to begin with. For full context, I used to be friends with him. In fact, there were times where I was his only friend. I was his best friend for over a decade when we started drifting apart. Then I found out all the heinous he had been doing both while I was friends with him and after he contacted. So let me be explicitly clear about this grow and change nonsense he does. It's all bullshit. Do not believe for a second that he has learned the error of his ways and is going to grow as a bigger, better person. This is probably the 5th or 6th time he's done this stunt, and it certainly won't be the last. He does this constantly. He is so fucking predictable, you can set a watch to him. Kiwi Farms even places bets as to what he'll do next, and they are almost always right. It is a constant cycle that repeats itself. And someone on the farms, said that Adam is the Ouroboros of cringe. It's just a vicious cycle. And I said, yes, he is so infamous that he has over 600 pages on the farms on his escapades alone. Adam will never grow. He will never change. If anything, if he does change, it will certainly be for the worst. He never takes a shred of accountability for his actions, and this proves it. This reads like he was caught cheating on a speed run. I'm gonna grow from this bigger and stronger. Adam, this wasn't you cheating on a speed run. You were outed as a sexual predator from one of the biggest convention fan pages on Facebook. There is no bouncing back from this. I like to think that I know Adam better than anyone else, considering that I am unironically the best and closest friend he has ever had and ever will have. All I ask is you do not give in to any of this bullshit. I'm sorry for those he has hurt, and I hope he never does it again. And after I posted that, the fucking floodgates opened. People coming out of the woodwork telling me their stories about Adam. In fact, I'm going to list a couple of them now. Let me take a look at some of the comment. And just for privacy's sake, I'm not going to say any names while I'm reading these off. So, you have to forgive me. This is all done in one take. Here we go. Here's one. Oh, and there's another person on here that's cataloging every fucking thing that he's ever done, and he's getting an album together to expose Adam, essentially. Because unfortunately, Kiwi Farms is kind of it's the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's a hive mind of scum and villainy, but it's also the only place to have a cohesive timeline of events of shit that Adam's done ever since the speedrunning incident and beforehand.
Al then told some chibi stories that he got as replies to his post.
So this person says, I believed he was a nice person, and time and time again he'd say that he was rejected by other girls, that everyone treated him poorly. We went to Necto together once. Necto is a nightclub in Detroit. All while we knew we were going as friends. I told him several times before we went to hang out. The guy I was seeing at the time showed up to Necto, and Adam legit left the nightclub immediately with all my belongings in his car he drove. He refused to give me my wallet back until I spoke to him about that night, saying I treated him just as badly as the girls he's tried to get with, and that I'm the worst one. I felt so deeply uncomfortable and disgusted by him after this, and truly believed what everyone else has said about him. He told me all these horror stories about what he went through, but after how he treated me, knowing I didn't do anything wrong, and that he wouldn't give me my belongings back, I don't know, I would just feel safe if he wasn't allowed at Colossal Con. Thank you so much for this. I unfortunately fell for this act of his and thought he was a cool guy and learned from his mistakes. Then I keep seeing posts like this, and I'm glad he was outed. I can't stand people who play the victim complex. Apologize and grow up and realize what you did wrong. Become better. I unfriended and blocked him on all my socials and Switch account. I'm ashamed of myself because as soon as my drunkenness was sobering up, I had that gut feeling. This is someone who worked with him. I worked with the guy for 3 years now, and it's true. Dude isn't just a creep outside of work, but he's also during work as well. I've actually started putting together an album of all the shit he's been doing over the years to expose him at work to make sure he can't prey on our coworkers. If anyone has stories or screenshots they can share, please DM me or can help pass stuff around to the other groups so we can't find a new group to leech on. This convention is the first and won't be the last, but we can make sure that we bring awareness to minimize that. And that's the thing that Adam does constantly. He leeches onto communities and conventions so that he can, earn people's trust and be creepy and be a creep toward them. He does this constantly. And this is what I was trying to pinpoint in my post, that this I'm gonna just watch me. I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. He does this constantly. Right. And another thing, before I continue with the post, there's another thing that he does constantly. Every time he gets exposed, he does this. He claims to be going to a therapist. Every single fucking time that he's outed as a sex pest, he claims to be going into therapy, and this is what he said recently. First order of business my therapist and I talked about today is making sure I keep holding myself accountable. If there's something that pops into my brain that I need to do, and I know I need to do it, I have a responsibility to get it done. What I wrote was a good start to that, but I have to get used to keeping that accountability in my daily life first and foremost, which means making myself meals instead of buying garbage, keeping my place clean, maintaining my hygiene. This motherfucker went to a therapist to be told, hey, maybe if you stop eating garbage and clean your room, you won't be a sex pest.
Al would reasonably say that one of his biggest regrets in life was being Chibi's friend.
I don't really say that I hate people often, but I hate you. One of my biggest regrets is being your friend. Especially seeing the shit that you keep doing. And the sad thing is, if you just kept it in your pants for once in your fucking life, like me and all of your other friends at the time tried telling you, the worst thing you would be known for is being a shitty speedrunner who cheats. And that's the truth, Adam. That's the truth. So, another thing that I wanted to point out, how he's not sorry, and he's not actually sorry. He's not actually remorseful. He's just sorry that he got caught.
Al would end this video saying that it was personal for him.
So, I want to end this with something with something personal, right? I mean, the entire thing has been personal. But my whole reasoning for making this video is, I guess, it's personal, right? When you invest so much time into being there for someone, being there in their darkest days, being a shoulder for them. When his dad died, I went to the funeral, and his stepmom pulled me aside and said, listen, he doesn't really have anybody. You are his only friend. You are the best friend that he's ever had. Please, look after him, take care of him, right? And I made a promise to his stepmom that I would. Spending all that time trying to do Adam right, and then seeing him pull this shit, it's fucking infuriating. I gave that man more chances than anyone ever would. I stood up for him when I had absolutely no business doing so. At the time, I thought people were just being unfair to him, right? I found out that he was even pulling this shit when we were friends, when I knew him. And it's just fucking burns. It fucking chaps my ass like nothing. Like nothing else. It's just... It's... Every time I see what he's up to, I get angry. But I also feel vindicated. I also, in a way, feel vindicated because I know I'm right, and he knows I'm right. He knows I was always there for him. He knows that I am the best friend that he's ever had and ever fucking will have. There isn't anyone in the world who treated him like I did. Like I said in my post, when he needed a ride, I gave him a ride. When he needed money, I gave him money. I expected none in return. If he was hungry, I fed him and bought him food. If he needed a place to crash, my door was open. I got in trouble for it plenty of times, but fuck it. He's a friend, and you help you help your friends who are in need. I even offered him a job at the kitchen that I worked in at the time. Red flags were popping up from my boss. I even drove him out of my way to a job interview to a city that was an hour away from where I lived. And again, I didn't ask for gas money. I didn't ask for compensation. I did it out of the goodness of my heart because, hey, he was my friend. And I did it for him. And it made me feel good. Well, I wasted 10 years of my life, at least, being this piece of shit's friend.
On May 3rd, Mega Zakari would do an interview with Chibi.
Tonight, I am having a wonderful interview with the one and only Adam, formerly known as Chibi, currently known as Aquana, streamer, questionable individual, but...
Among other things.
But questions that we have, questions that will have answers tonight. And tonight, we're going to have an interview. A wonderful interview, a conversation with not only myself, but a very special guest later on tonight. Now, Mr. Aquana, are you ready for tonight's questions? Again.
Yes, I am.
Alright. Cool. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience? Give us a palatable taste of who you are for someone who may not know who you are.
Right. Well, so my name is Adam. I was formerly known as Chibi or Chibinekodemyx, depending on how far back you want to go. Currently known as Aquana, 32 years of age. I stream sometimes when I'm not super busy or when I'm not doing stupid shit. But right now I'm currently employed full-time. I am a homeowner and I'm about 3 months away from graduating from Full Sail University with a bachelor's degree.
Chibi was asked about what incidents still affect him to this day, and Chibi would name a few before Colossicon was brought up.
you've had some major controversies in the last 10, 15 years. Is there a particular event that still plagues you to this day?
Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, to be honest, all of them do to some degree or another. I mean, obviously, there are some that have much more significance than others do, and others have impacted me more. But the ones I probably regret the most is, I would say, the SGDQ couch incident, since that was mostly just me not being able to take social cues correctly. The cheating incident, which was me trying to gain other people's approval and acceptance by forcing my way into a community and trying to be good at a game I was clearly not good at. And the Iwata funeral idea. Let's not even talk about that. That was just fucking stupid. But the list goes on and on. I mean, there's a lot. Essentially, it all boils down to a lot of making the same mistakes over and over again to different extremes due to an overpowering desire for acceptance or validation. And it's not something I will excuse myself for, and right now I'm putting very hard focus on curbing these behaviors and learning to stop them at the source.
Okay. Moving on to a question about a recent debacle that has happened at the ColossalCon 21 Plus Discord.
Okay, bring it on.
So the picture with your cat on your penis. What was your thought process on that?
Oh boy. All right. Well, so that it was weird as fuck. I mean, you know that the ColossalCon Discord, like the NSFW chat, everybody's posting lewds and nudes of themselves to some degree. It honestly was not meant to be taken out of context, and I'm sure a lot of people are taking it out of context. So I think my thought process was, I thought having other subject matter in the shot would be more appealing to look at than just a straight up nude. But definitely can see how people thought it was weird, and in hindsight, yeah, it was fucking weird.
To piggyback off that, I understand it, because photography, you need to have something to associate with it to make it better and stuff, but why your cat?
Because she came on my lap. He just so happened to be there, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can't explain it. It was stupid and fucking weird.
Mega Zakari talked about the Chibi cycle and got Chibi's opinion on it.
There is a term that explains your recent debacles known as, quote, the Chibi cycle.
The Chibi cycle. Mm-hmm.
Used more prolifically on the Kiwi Farms forum.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, allow me to read what the Chibi cycle is. Step 1. Does cringy shit and receives negative attention. Step 2. Has public mental breakdown for asspats from the Discord. Step 3. Goes on break to, quote, find self. And step 4. Has an epiphany about what cringy shit to do next. And the cycle continues. Do you have any insight into this term?
So I didn't actually know all of, like, the steps that you described. I actually tried my best to sort of come up with my own interpretation of it. Let me see. Okay, so I think how I put it was, first I do something to get me in trouble due to one reason or another, which is exactly what you described. Then fallout happens. Like you said, I have a mental breakdown or something on Twitter, or I decide that I'm going to go do something, that I probably shouldn't be doing, whether it's like having thoughts or suicidal in a greater degree, just to try to get as much attention as possible. Then I end up spiraling for a while and throw pity parties, and then I say how sorry I am and how things will be different, and then things are different for a little while, and then it's right back where I started again because I did something stupid, and the cycle continues from there. But no, it's based on my past behaviors. I mean, they pretty much hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how my behavioral cycle would often work. Is once I realize the gravity or the weight of the situation that I put myself in, that's when it all starts to really become clear, and I realize, oh, I really fucked up, didn't I? And that's when I start blaming myself. That's when I start throwing the pity parties, the temper tantrums, this, that. And yeah, it pretty much almost happened exactly the same way this time too. I was talking to a friend. I've been talking to a friend of mine that is also part of the Colossal Con group, but he has basically been trying to kind of rehabilitate me in his own way. And I was doing the same thing with him. I was always saying, he was asking me, hey, how are you doing? And that was literally like opening the floodgates for me to say, oh, this is going wrong and that's going wrong and oh, poor me. And eventually he's like, all right, dude, you gotta fucking stop. Like, this, I'm trying to help you. I understand you're going through a lot of shit right now, but not everybody wants to hear pity parties 24/7. And if you're looking to change, that is not how you do it. And that right there, I feel like was the sort of snap back to reality that I needed to really realize, oh, you know what? I'm back in the fucking same cycle that I'm always in. And I need to fucking do something about this, because if I don't, then the Chibi cycle is going to continue all over again. And if that happens, nothing will ever change, and things will continuously and gradually get worse.
Chibi denied the anime music video karaoke that he did at his dad's funeral, and said that Big Al would vouch for him when Al is actually the one that leaked it in the first place.
Next question. Very awkward question, but a question nonetheless. Did you actually sing an anime music video song at your dad's funeral?
So a lot of people say that I did. I did not actually sing it at my dad's funeral. So what happened was I made a video of myself basically karaoke singing a song. It was from an anime called Kanon, Kanon. And the name of the song is called Last Regrets. It is the opening song to that anime. It is a very sad song. And I set it up that had like basically a black background, and I had the lyrics pop in on screen every now and then. Basically what it was like part me singing the song and part a sort of a slideshow of pictures and memories taken from my dad's life. But I did not actually sing in person at either the funeral home or the funeral itself. I had that video and I showed it to his friends and loved ones at the funeral home itself.
So not at the funeral per se, but
no,
close enough to where people would misinterpret it.
Correct. And I actually I think I remember that Al and my old friend John, both of them were actually at the funeral home, not the funeral service, but the funeral home. I believe they were there when that happened, so they could probably vouch for that accuracy.
All right. Good to know.
Chibi was asked about Colossicon again, and this time, Chibi would go more into the details on why he did what he did.
Sticking to recent debacles, the Colossal 21 Plus group,
Here we go.
It booed you for, reportedly, because, again, under legal stipulations, I have to say reportedly, booed you for reportedly sending unsolicited nudes. What went through your mind when this happened?
Right. So this and this actually is kind of combining with another one of your answers, or rather another one of your questions in regards to that. So I'm basically going to be answering both of those questions at the same time. So I'll try to summarize this the best I can, since I've already explained it multiple times. But as I'm sure you're aware, because you're a part of it, the ColossalCon 20 plus Discord, or 21 plus Discord, NSFW chat is pretty much where everybody hangs out and talks. Nobody really talks in any of the other channels. And I wanted to try to meet people and fit in with everybody who they were commonly posting lewds or nudes of themselves, which at first, I was not entirely comfortable with because, number one, I have really bad body dysmorphia and I hate the way I look, especially naked. And number two, there's quite a few nudes of myself that have been leaked already. But in general, everybody was very, very supportive of me. And I started by posting, tasteful nudes of myself in the group chat, which they were very supportive of. And I was also trying my best to gas other people up whenever they posted a nude of themselves, and sometimes it would come in the form of either mild or aggressive flirting, saying, "Oh man, you're so hot," or something like that. But as the night went on, that particular night, people posted more and more pictures of each other, and I thought that I could try to step outside my comfort zone a little bit, maybe feel a little bit more confident in myself. And so I said, hey, whoever reacts to this, I will send them something to their DM. Kind of a vague thing on its own, but I'll get into that later. But to that post, 3 people made a reaction, and in my head, again, this was the tipping point here, because in my head I thought that those reactions answering my question in that post was basically the consent that I needed to do what I wanted to do. And later, before I did what I did, I told the chat I was sending it soon, again, not saying exactly what I was sending. And one person who was not there at the time of my initial post supposedly wanted me to send it as well to them. So in total, it was sent to 3 girls and 1 guy. And it was a video of myself out and climaxing. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Mega Zakari asked Chibi how he felt about being viewed as possibly the Chris Chan of the speedrunning community due to the belief that he would do something bad in the future.
Recently, there has been worry of your actions, leading some to believe that you may do something much more reprehensible in the future. How would you like to address these concerns? And just like to clarify, I have seen the number one comparison I've seen is, quote, the Chris Chan of speedrunning in more ways than one. I.e. a reference to...
I figured.
Yeah.
Not the first time that I've heard that either, but despite what people might think about me or what their impressions of me are, what people have heard, I am not a malicious person. And I know that I'm not a malicious person. I would never intentionally cause harm to anybody. I know my actions have been wrong. I know why they are wrong. And being autistic has something to do with that, as I do oftentimes fail to read very obvious social cues, and I also have a lot of difficulty socializing with people, which most of my interactions come from being on my phone, which is probably another question we'll get to soon. But it's not just that. I want to be able to fit in with people and make them happy. That's my bottom line. That's basically the one thing that I've always wanted to do ever since I was just going all the way back, even in grade school, even in high school. But I also feel like I need that acceptance sooner rather than later. And that's what drives me to make very impulsive decisions that I end up taking action on without considering the consequences of said action. And I know I have said that I have changed or will change before, i.e. the Chibi cycle, but that was mostly a lie that I was basically telling myself to make myself feel better. It's kind of like my own way of self-validation. You know how you say, you do talk about how I'm going to do something today, and sometimes that can give you the same dopamine hit as actually doing it. Kind of the same thing, but this is more than just surface level, and this is something that has gone largely unnoticed and unaddressed for decades, and has been the root of so many problems that I've had in life. So to answer the question, no, I do not have plans to continue this behavior and continuing to hurt people. regardless of what public opinion is.
Then we got a guest coming to the interview, the man we've been waiting to hear since the beginning, Big Al. This intro is going to be cut down for time.
God damn. Anyway.
You did not wash your hands.
I did too. I'm a fast peer. Anyway.
That was the fastest piss I've ever heard.
Anyway. Enough of my piss habits. One last question before the next segment.
Alright.
You and Big Al.
Yep, here we go.
You and Big Al used to be best friends.
Mm-hmm.
It has been several years since you two have fallen out. Would there be any, and I do mean any, consideration to mending that relationship, or has that bridge been burnt?
So, if it were me, I would say the bridge has probably been burnt. I don't know what his feelings are on me. I do remember that quite a few years ago, he kind of condemned me publicly. And I'm sure he's probably really upset over a lot of what has happened. However, he hasn't exactly been a perfect person either while I was hanging out with him. And I'm still a little bit upset over a lot of what he put me through back then. But I do not hate him. I never have. And I believe in second chances. As myself, I'm trying hard to change who I am. I'm sure, I mean, it's been over 10 years probably since I've talked to him. And I'm sure he probably has too. So who knows? Anything is possible, I guess.
Well, I guess we're going to find out. Because we have a special guest. On top of our special guest, we got a 2-for-1 special tonight. Big Al 2K6 is here.
Hey.
So, I'm gonna drop the interview shtick for a moment. I don't know your guys' history. I'm just an outsider here. I'm just a humble host who happens to have the privilege to be the guy to witness this in real time. As far as I know, and as far as you guys know, this may very well be the last time you two will ever speak to each other. I highly advise, if you got something to get off your chest to one another, now's the time. Adam,
all right.
You go first.
Okay.
Remember,
So-
this may be the last time. Both of you, no holds barred.
I understand. So, first, I just want to say I hope you're doing okay. I hope life is treating you well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been a long time since we spoke. I mean, a very long time. A lot has happened. A lot of time has passed. And I know you definitely think badly of me, as does most everyone. And I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that I've done. I'm sorry for all the lives that I've hurt. I'm sorry for all the friends that I've hurt, and yourself included. I have done a lot of wrong in my life, and there's a lot of retribution that I have to face. And I hope that going forward, once I get the help that I need and sort things out and get back on track, that eventually I can begin to reconcile either in your eyes or in the eyes of other people. In terms of our history, I met you when I was still a college student at Macomb, and we got along with each other pretty much right off the bat. I think at the time we were talking about YouTube poops or something, because that was relevant at the time.
You were drawing a comic book that I noticed.
Oh, I don't remember.
With YouTube poop. It was from CDI link.
Yep.
And it said, "Holy shit, is that YouTube poops?" That is
Yep.
how we met.
That's almost crazy to think. Even like this far ahead, just how old we are, how old YouTube poops even are, and I highly doubt they're even a thing anymore.
Oh, they are.
They are.
Oh wow.
They are. They're still being made. Same jokes.
Oh, good. Glad to hear the creativity pool has not run dry. But anyway, moving on from that, I appreciate everything that you have done for me. You have been a good friend in most respects, and you've introduced me to a lot of different things. One thing that I wish could have happened a little differently was whenever I was with you or hanging out with you, I would notice a lot of times that the conversation would often go towards you or things that you wanted to do or things you wanted to show me. And little consideration was shown to things that I either wanted to do or wanted to say. And I also know and remember very exclusively that I think you've used quite a few slurs when addressing me before. I won't say them here, but that did also make me very uncomfortable. And just generally speaking, I just kind of wish that we could have seen each other as equals, even though I have a lot of fucked up shit that's wrong with me. I am a very cringy individual, and I will not be the first to admit that. I did a lot of stupid shit, especially when we were still talking to each other. That OsakaCon video was just the tip of the iceberg, and basically snowballed from there. And that's really it. I really wish that things could have ended on better terms. And I know I did a lot of dumb stuff when it came to my dating history. I mean, you remember our friend group was, I would say, very hypersexual in some respects. I don't know if you remember John, but
oh, I remember John.
Yeah, he was a pretty prime example of that. Won't go into details. I'm sure you know all about that. But I know I've done a lot of stupid shit, and I have continuously done a lot of stupid shit, and I'm just now getting to the root of a lot of those problems that have faced me for, like I said, decades, that I didn't even realize were issues to begin with. I know I have a very bad addiction to validation and acceptance, and part of that is an over-reliance on my phone, which that was actually going to be a question that was asked. That was actually a recent discovery that I have made, and that is something I've been working with my therapist to try to overcome the best of my ability. But that's really it. I appreciate everything that you have done in terms of helping me through very difficult parts of my life. I know you were there when I lost my dad, and I was very, very upset. It was a very dark time in my life when that happened, and it meant a lot for you to be there at the funeral home with me when I was going through that, because I did not know how to process my emotions, and to this day I still have difficulty processing those emotions of grief. And I just wanted to let you know how much that meant.
After this little reunion, Al wanted to ask Chibi just one question, and would get what I would call a genuinely terrible response before Al said everything that he had done for Chibi. This segment, I actually had to ask Al his permission to post this, and you'll see why. I also want you to listen to how little emotion Chibi has this entire conversation.
Them, so I can't really comment on that, but there is one thing I do want to ask Adam, and that is, was he always planning on throwing me under the bus eventually, or did that come after I cut ties with him?
Are you saying me? Like me throwing you under the bus?
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at your fucking twit longer right now.
I know.
Where I'm under the story of the rapist.
I remember the one. At the time that I wrote that, I was really angry. I had a lot of resentment inside of me, and I was trying to find any cause for blame that I could. And I put that on you just because of my feelings that I couldn't keep to myself, and I should have kept those to myself. I never should have publicly outed you like that. I know part of that also probably came from after you had cut ties with me and after the things that you said, basically calling me a weirdo, and I was still really upset about that. But what I wrote in that twit longer was wrong. I should never have wrote that about you.
I drove you places. I fed you. I gave you I opened my door for you. I drove you places way out of my way so you can go to job interviews. I was your fucking shoulder to cry on. I was there when your dad died.
I know.
I'm probably the best friend you'll ever had. I was there when everyone else left.
I didn't acknowledge the good things.
How could you, Adam? After everything I've done for you. And I know I'm not perfect, but goddammit, I was there for you.
I know you were. It's okay, man. Let it out.
That's really all I have to say about that. I don't really have any other comment.
I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate everything that you've done for me, though. And like I said, words cannot describe how much it meant to me that you were there when I was dealing with my father's passing. I'll never forget that. Because I think it was just you, and I think John was there too, but like, you stayed by my side through that whole thing. And I feel like that's when I needed you most. And I'm glad you were there. You did so much for me too. You let me hang out with you a lot. You made me food. Like, basically, like you said, I feel like maybe sometimes I did take advantage of you. I understand the hurt that you feel, and I get it. I felt hurt too, but I let anger get the best of me, and I should never have wrote what I did.
After getting called out for having no remorse, Chibi pretended to cry.
Language you're using, the language, the emotion in your voice and the language you're using, it doesn't sound
Zach, let me chime in with this. I just poured out 10 years worth of anguish and pain onto you, and you sound like the fucking Clear Eyes guy. Absolutely no emotion, no remorse. So, what the fuck was I to you, Adam? That's what I want to know.
Because it doesn't sound...
It doesn't sound like I have remorse in my voice, but I do. And I didn't want to be overly emotional on the call because I'm just trying to keep things as I don't know. I just didn't want to risk being over emotional and saying something that I shouldn't be saying, because when it comes to me and my emotions, I don't have the best control over them. And if I get emotionally charged, then I might say something wrong or say something out of place. But the truth is, I know how you feel, and I know the hurt that you feel. I know that I've put you through so much shit. And it's been 10 years. It's been such a long time.
And I was your friend in spite of all that.
You were. Even back then, like, I didn't have the best reputation either. Like, the whole Osaka-con bullshit, like, me being super cringy, that hasn't really changed much.
I'm going to pause real quick because something that the chat is pointing out, and something I would like to point out as well, is that you're now showing emotion after we point it out.
I know.
Mega Zakari asked Al if he thought there was any redemption arc for Chibi, and Al responded reasonably saying no.
Apologize beforehand.
Okay.
But this is because of my burning curiosity. Do you feel, as of now, there's any chance of a redemption arc for Adam?
Personally, for me, no. He's made his fucking bed.
Response to that, Adam?
I can understand that. I understand how he feels. And I won't deny that.
Al was asked where he saw Chibi in 10 years, and Al said that he didn't see Chibi anywhere different than he's been his whole life.
Well, 10, 20 years, it's hard to tell, honestly. If I could be 100%, I was probably just the same old shit. I'm just so jaded and hurt and tired right now. It's been the same over and over again for the 10 years that I've been with him. Why change now? So there's my
after
answer.
this interview, but no more than 10, Chibi would do a Facebook post about it, and this is what he had to say. Okay, so the other day, I did a voluntary interview where I was asked probably the most embarrassing questions I've been asked in my life, and I was as open and honest as I could be while answering them. And then, I talked to someone who's brought into the call that I haven't seen or talked to in over 10 years. Yet, I get called out after he spills his emotions out to me, and I responded what seemed to be deadpan answers. I'm being told that I was insincere and I messed up again. That. You want to know why I wasn't trying to show a lot of emotion? Why don't you put yourself in my place for a second? You're literally sitting there being asked the most embarrassing, humiliating questions imaginable, and I did this voluntarily because I wanted to get everything out there, and then following that, you're faced with an emotional torrent from someone you weren't ready or prepared for. Yeah, I didn't show much emotion, but that's because, number one, I was literally terrified and shaking with anxiety from being asked and answering these questions, and trying to hold myself together. And two, I've been known for being over-emotional before, and when it happens, people criticize it saying, I'm trying to attract attention or seeking sympathy. You know what? I don't care. Hate me all you want, until I'm dead, or you are, if that's what makes you happy and brings you joy in your life. But I'm tired of trying to please everyone when clearly whatever I am is wrong or not good enough. Either believe me that I can change and do better, or don't. It doesn't matter to me anymore. But if you think I'm going to continue to bend over and keep taking this again and again, you're wrong. Either stick with me or get the hell out of my way, your choice. And what's happened since then? Well, Chibi got his haircut and threatened to delete his online accounts, but that's genuinely not worth posting, so we're gonna end it here. Honestly, what kind of closing statement can I possibly make at this point? Whatever community Chibi joins, he becomes a pariah in because of his own actions. He's never going to change. We've seen this so many times. I've never spoken to Big Al outside of that comment I posted on his video. But I can say this. Putting up with Chibi IRL for 10 years is more than I would ever be able to put up with. And what he said about Chibi being in the exact same place he is right now in 10 years is something that I personally think is 100% true. I don't think I'll ever make another Chibi video again in my life, so I hope you guys like this one. Seriously, he's got the predictability of Cyrax, but he's twice as dangerous and none of the fun. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.